Hi, welcome back to the channel. My name's Philip, and what I thought I would do today is talk about what I've learned and what I have yet to learn in Albania. The first thing that I want to talk about is safety. Albania is a very safe country. What do I mean by that? Well, our apartment building, for instance, we have a key fob that gets us on the elevator. Then once in the elevator, we use that key fob again to go to the floor that we need to. When we get into the apartment, we have a humongous key that is like that tall, and we undo the deadbolts, and that's plural. There are 4 deadbolts that go into the steel frame of the door. And each time you turn it, those deadbolts go deeper. On top of that, up top of the door, there is a 5th deadbolt that goes into the steel frame and has a piece around it to where nobody can get in. They can't reach us from the ground, they can't reach us from inside. As far as another thing about safety, I would say walking anywhere and everywhere. I have not felt uncomfortable one time since I've been here. My wife takes Fiona out at 9:30, 10 o'clock at night to go potty. No worries. I've seen kids playing on the promenade. I've seen families out walking. It just blows my mind to be in such a safe country. I can't tell you what a relief that is. Another thing about Albania is how peaceful it is. Behind you is the strip on the promenade, and you can hear some traffic going by, I'm sure, but right now it's very slow. This is January, so it's the off season. So as far as it being peaceful, it's nice, it's quiet, it's chill, it's just way back relaxed. The people here are very friendly. There is a language barrier, and what I have found is, from speaking English all my life, my mouth doesn't move the right way to speak Albanian. And there are words that have letters that don't even look like they're supposed to go together. And that's part of the language here that I've got to learn. I've got to learn how to rework my mouth, if that makes sense, to be able to say the words properly. But the people here are very friendly. So if we go to one of our few grocery stores that we've got here, there's going to be somebody in there, probably a younger person, that speaks pretty good English, and we can communicate that way. When we go to our restaurants, there's always people that speak English, not a problem. But when you get around the older generation, they don't speak any English, and so Google Translate becomes your friend real quick. Another thing that I've learned in Albania is the cost of living. So many people out there, so many channels, you'll hear, oh, the cost of living is so cheap, the cost of living is so cheap, groceries are so cheap, I can eat forever for, $5 a week. That's an over-exaggeration. But what I have found is fruits and vegetables are from farm to table. Potatoes will still have the dirt on them where they dug them out of the ground, farm to table. However, when you get outside of that and you're looking for, let's say, peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, everybody can relate to that. A little bitty jar of peanut butter will cost you about 600 lek, which is about $6 and we'll say 30 cents. And a little bitty jar of jelly, even smaller than the peanut butter, is going to cost you about the same. The good thing is the bread here. We go to a bakery to get our bread. And at that bakery, they've got white, they've got wheat, they've got sourdough, they've got any kind and every kind of bread that you can think of. Croissant rolls, they've got it all. So the bread is cheap. The peanut butter and jelly, not so much. Another thing that I was very, very used to back in the States was eating cereal for breakfast. I would sit down with a big ass box of Fruity Pebbles, and I would sit there and I would eat 5 or 6 bowls every morning. It was normal. But here, you get a little bitty tiny box of cereal, not necessarily name brand, but it's going to cost you $5 or $6 for a box of cereal. There is a lot of cheap food here, or I should say there is a lot of fresh food here. No chemicals, no preservatives, none of that stuff. If you buy, Jamie bought 3 or 4 bananas, I think it was day before yesterday. If they're not gone by today, it's going to be banana bread. So it's refreshing to have good fruit and veggies that are fresh. Fiona loves the carrots here. Don't tell mommy, but Fiona loves the carrots. And it's just so nice to be able to shop without worrying. You know, you go into Walmart and you're going to spend $50, $60 and come out with 1 bag. Here, that's not the case, unless you have that mentality of, I'm going to eat cereal every day. I'm going to eat peanut butter and jelly sandwiches every day. If that's your mentality and you don't adjust, then you'll skyrocket your food bill. Okay, so the next thing I want to talk about that I've learned here in Albania is the bus system. The buses have different routes like any city would, but you want to make sure that you catch the right bus. You want to make sure that it's got the letters UJI on it for our area. If it doesn't have UJI on it, don't get on it. Trust me, I've taken the wrong bus before, and it ended up in about a 1.5 mile walk back to where I needed to be. Another thing that I've learned about Albania since I've been here in 2.5 months is the stray population. Albania has a terrible, terrible population of stray dogs and stray cats. However, that being said, we have had maybe 1 or 2 dogs bark at Fiona when we're taking her out for a walk, but we have never had any kind of attack or aggression towards Fiona. Another thing that I've come to learn about Albania are the restaurants. I had mentioned earlier, and then the restaurants that we go to, somebody's going to speak English. And we know the restaurants on the strip, we live on the strip of the promenade, where to go and where not to go. So we know the food that we like, we know where to eat, where not to eat, and by where not to eat, I mean that comes from our experience. I am learning to slow down in Albania. And that's a hard thing for me to do, because for the better part of my almost 60 years on the planet, It's been rush, 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 go, 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 get this done, get that done, work, home, sleep, repeat, you know, for so many decades. And to be able to slow down and enjoy the waves lapping up on the beach, my gosh, it's hard to describe how nice that is. So now let's talk about some things that I'm still learning in Albania after 2.5 months of being here. The biggest one is the language. I haven't studied much of the Albanian language since I've been here, because for the first month, that was busy with the Airbnb and getting our apartment. For the second month, it's been finding doctors to go to, finding which grocery stores we like in this area, which restaurants we like in this area, things like that. So I haven't spent a lot of time on the language yet. Like I said earlier in the video, after speaking English all my life, my mouth doesn't move the way that it needs to for me to speak Albanian. Another thing that I'm still learning is the culture. The culture here is very relaxed. It's a slow pace. But I tell you what, the relationships that these Albanian people have with each other is amazing. They truly love each other. Whether that's, you know, families, friends. I see people hugging all the time. I see people, you know, the younger generation, you know, going up for the high five or the handshake. These people know what love is. They're not divided like the U.S. is, you know, to where they lose friends and family over political mess. They truly love each other. And I'm not saying that the Albanian government is perfect. I know nothing about it. But what I'm saying is, from what I've seen in 2.5 months here, these people know what real relationships are. Another thing that I have learned is, or that I'm still learning, is the traffic. Oh my gosh, the traffic. So behind me is the strip on the promenade. And today it's a weekday. It is the 15th of January at 3:15 in the afternoon. The traffic's not bad. Not everybody's off of work yet. And the promenade, the traffic's usually not horrible. We haven't been here in the high season yet, but we were here during New Year's and Independence Day for Albania. And both of those got a little wild and hairy at times, but it's nothing like the interstates or some of the back roads back in the States. I'm sure downtown is crazy. I know downtown is crazy. And I'm still trying to learn it. I've rented a car here probably a dozen times from a friend of mine. And I've gotten one ticket. I got one parking ticket for parking too close to the roundabout. And the cops popped me for a $10 ticket, parking ticket. Traffic, you have to watch out for bikes, bicycles. The older generation, oh my gosh, there's so many of the older generation that ride bikes everywhere they go. The second thing is cars, constantly watching for everybody else. The Albanians don't understand how a roundabout is supposed to work. It's just every man for himself. Everybody is going where they want to go, and either you get out of the way or they're going to honk their horn at you. I said something probably about a month ago, and it's still true to this day. Albanians have the patience of a gnat. And what I mean by that is they will honk their horn at you at the drop of a hat. They have no problems using their horn. Road rage never happens. Never ever happens. I have yet to see any road rage whatsoever. So you're watching for cars, you're watching for bikes, you're watching for motorcycles, you're watching for scooters. And by the scooters, I mean the delivery drivers here. We don't have Grubhub or anything like that. We have an app that's called Wolt, W-O-L-T. And the delivery drivers go all over town on these little old school mopeds. And they will cut in and out of cars. They will be swerving all over the place, honking their horn at people to scoot over to one side of the road so that they can just pass and get their deliveries done. It's crazy. Motorcycles, same way. They have no helmet laws here in Albania. I'm going to leave that alone. But the motorcycles here will swerve in and out of traffic just like the scooters do. You have to watch for cars. You have to watch for bikes. You have to watch for motorcycles. You have to watch for other pedestrians. A pedestrian will cross the street wherever they feel like it. Wherever they need to cross, that's where they're going to cross. And you just never know. Walking in this traffic, you kind of learn that they will stop for you. It may not always seem like it, but they will stop for you. Will they come within a couple of feet of you? No, they'll come within a couple of inches from you, but they will stop. Another thing that you have to watch out for are e-scooters. Right now in Albania, there's a ban on scooters, on the stand-up e-scooters. That's kind of a bummer because Jamie and I bought 2 of those when we got here in the country to get around by. We don't take them out very often right now. The reason for the ban is in 2025, there were 991 accidents involving e-scooters. Now, I'm not going to say that the majority of those were in high season and were tourists, but I'm going to say the majority of those were probably in the high season and were tourists. It's a shame because the government has banned them across the country. And a lot of the Albanians are like, hey, you just took our mode of transportation away. In cities like Vlore, Durrës, and maybe Saranda, they don't always enforce the rules. But the last time that I checked, one of the news stations that I follow on Facebook, police have confiscated over 1,500 scooters in the country. They'll take your scooter from you, plain and simple, because of the ban. The government doesn't know what they're going to do yet. Are they going to make it 16 and older? Don't know. Are they going to make you wear a helmet? Don't know. Are they going to make you register them and have a license, have a tag on them? Don't know. The government, well, it's a government, so it's going to move slow. There's no telling when we're going to get a lift on the ban from that. Another thing that you have to watch out for in traffic are the strays. You might be cruising down the street at, 30, 35, 40 miles an hour. Typically in the city, it ranges, I think the speed limit here is about, I'm going to say between 30 and 40. And it just depends on where you're at. If you're in a busy, congested area, it might drop, 25 miles an hour. But strays will come out of nowhere. People will come out of nowhere. Motorcycles will come out of nowhere. Scooters will come out of nowhere. They have a bike lane, and I've said this before, but in Vlore, their sidewalks and their bike lanes are wider than the roads. So yeah, that's a thing. So the sidewalks and bike lanes. Typically what's supposed to happen is on the sidewalks, that's for pedestrians. In the bike lane, that's supposed to be for bicycles and e-scooters. In reality, pedestrians, scooters, the delivery drivers, and e-scooters are going to be on the sidewalk somewhere. They just are. They don't always stick to the bike lane. Don't get in the bike lane, you might get run over. But there's a big ship out there in the bay. So the last thing I want to talk about is the police here in Vlore. Somebody's going to have to tell me, a local is going to have to tell me what the heck is going on with the police here. I have yet to see one police officer, aside from the interstate, give a ticket to anybody in Vlore. You got a headlight out, no problem. Tail light out, no problem, no ticket. You got a car that's does 20 miles an hour top speed, no problem. You need to, let's say that you're going down a road and, oh shoot, I don't need to be going this way, I need to be going that way. Pull a U-ey right in the middle of the road. No ticket. You could do it in front of a police officer, in front of one of their vans or one of their cars or the officers on the bikes. No ticket, no problem. On what's called the boulevard, there are 2 lanes of traffic. In those 2 lanes of traffic, cars will park up on the sidewalk before you get to the bike lane and before you get to the pedestrian sidewalk. So that's a common thing. Cars will park up on the sidewalks. But they also let people on both sides double park. You need to hop out and get something at a store, stop in the middle of the road, in the middle of the lane, put your hazards on, get out of your car, go in the store, get what you need to, come back out. If you take 5 minutes, you take 5 minutes. If you take 30 minutes, no big deal, your flashers are on. You're never gonna get a ticket. I don't understand. How am I supposed to learn? What I don't understand is how to know if you're going to get pulled over by a police officer. They ride around day and night with their lights flashing, blues on top, they're flashing. If the traffic gets a little congested in an area, let's say on the boulevard, you've got the buses going up and down, okay? Buses run about every 15 to 20 minutes. And so what they try to do is on the routes that they go, they try to keep it within about a 15, 20 minute window. But you're going down this 2-lane road and you've got somebody double parked here and you've got somebody double parked there, and the bus needs to get through there, and there's traffic coming this way and there's traffic coming that way. It is a nightmare. Oh my goodness, it's a nightmare. I've ridden the bus. We have ridden the bus several times here. It's an absolute nightmare. And not because the bus is crowded. We've only been on one bus that's ever been crowded. But it's, these old guys, they know how to drive those buses, and they will literally get inches from a car. If the window on the bus was open and I reached down, I could run my finger across the roof of the cars. That's how close they get. It's insane to me. Huey's in the middle of the road, no problem. Just block traffic, do your 3-point turn. Sometimes it's a 6-point turn, depending on the car. And just go the opposite way. Everybody here in Albania is going where they're going. Traffic laws do not matter. I'm sure that the police do give tickets. But for myself, in 2.5 months, I've never seen a police officer give anybody a ticket for anything. What they do is like I said, they ride around with their lights on day and night. And they've got this siren that burp, burp. They hit that siren, burp, burp. That means whoever's up front that's blocking the traffic or holding up the traffic, get a move on. Let's go, you're blocking us. All right, so anyway, the police, I have no idea. I don't know. I was coming, we were coming home one night off of the interstate, and we get into town, and a police officer pulled in behind me. He's got his blues flashing. I'm thinking, oh no, I've got a ticket. What did I do? Where did I go wrong? I'm driving normal, I'm doing the speed limit, whatever. And there's cars in front of me, and he does this burp, burp. And I'm like, okay, I don't know if this guy needs me or if he's gonna give me a ticket, so I'm gonna pull off in the next bus stop area to give him room, you know, if he needs to get out and give me a ticket. Burp, burp. He hits him again. The traffic starts to go in front of me. So I get to the next bus stop area and I pull off. What's the cop do? He passes me, gets in the turning lane, passes 2 more cars, and gets right back in traffic. He was honking at us, if you will, so that we would get out of his way. So yeah, those are some things that I've learned and some things that I have yet to learn in Albania. Thank you for tuning in, and I will see you again next week. Ciao. Is that fairly straight? No. It's not. So let's get you straight enough. That's close. That's close enough.